And we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Y'all already know I'm lit today. Now, I'm lit every Monday, but this Monday, I'm like way lit to the max. Jezabel, what's good?
Nothing much, Six. What's up? What's up? I see we got a special guest today. What's up,
Yes,
Mr. Will Green? Willie
we got
Green.
we got
What's up,
Mr.
y'all?
Will Green. Now, first of all, before we get started, I need to know the IG handle. Why is that the name?
Dub Diggler.
No, hey, it's funny that came about because I got a buddy of mine. His name is Lewis Dixon, and he always was like, females always call me the black porno star, and it's a
Wow.
you know what I'm saying,
Really?
from the movie. No,
Oh,
for real
really?
though, I'm telling you, like,
Oh, really?
in my younger days, in my 20s, it was wild. You know what I'm saying? It was just wild. So he was just like, he started calling me Dub Diggler. We'd be at work and he would say that, and he was like, yeah, and we just took the name from that point on and
Now,
started.
if I'm not mistaken, that is the movie Rockstar.
Wahlberg with Wahlberg. Yep.
Yep.
Ah.
Awesome movie. Great movie. Have you seen that movie, Jezabel?
No.
Okay. Yeah, great movie. You should go ahead and check
Yes.
that out one
If
day.
you go see it, you'll see though.
Mark Wahlberg. It's Mark Wahlberg.
Okay. I'll check it out. I'm sure it's probably on Netflix.
So Will, man, what's good? Let's for people that don't know who you are, man. Go ahead and give them the rundown, because I know who you are, but give them the rundown who you are, man.
My name is Will Green. I'm up here in St. Paul, Minnesota, way up northern part of the U.S. I run a label called Real Deal ENT. We have a lot of really, really great artists on that. It's kind of like it's a label on autopilot. It's artist owned, so it's something different than what most labels that most artists would be on. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the label will finance and help artists get to where they get. You know what I'm saying? And they just give back to the label to let the label continue that. So it's like no deal signed or anything like that, but I really go out there and work and find the connections. Like recently I just got a feature with an artist with Lil Uzi Vert, an artist with Young Jeezy, so on and so on. I make sure you get the proper promotion, make sure you get on different shows across the nation. So, it's a really cool label and a really good situation for somebody to be in, because if you're not signed to anything and if it's just not working for you, you can just go on about your business.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty dope. So like you run a label, artists own, and artists are free, just running around free. That's pretty lit. Now let me ask you a question. Do you feel any risk with that?
I don't, because a lot of times some artists don't work as hard as what I need them to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not to be like, we're not slave drivers or anything like that, but sometimes some people just can't adhere to the job or the task that's given to them. And if they can't,
I mean, listen. First of all, let's address something right quick, right? I heard you say that we finance their career to get them in position. We get them lined up on shows. We pretty much put them to work. Now, how could that be considered slavery, right? Isn't that what artists been asking for?
some people may look at it like that, but culture today feels like anytime anybody's telling them to do anything, they get offended by it. So,
that is true.
So when they get offended by that, it's like, hey, if this doesn't work for you, that's fine. No matter what we do for them, some people are just not satisfied by you doing anything for them. And I don't know what their upbringing was, but sometimes enough just is not enough. You know what I'm saying?
Now I got a question as well. So you said your label is artist owned. What makes your label what makes the label stand out more than other artist-owned independent labels? Because I see a lot of artist-owned independent labels popping up, and I just want you to let the audience know what makes yours stand out from others.
It's real diverse. It's real artist based. It's like there's no big I's and little U's involved in this label. You know what I'm saying? Women and men are all treated the same. We don't condone the relationships between artists. business people with the male and female. It's like strictly like we want the artist to win, period. Just that plain and simple right off the bat. Any negativity, get out of here. We don't have no time. You know what I'm saying? Especially being like a Black owned label mostly. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to protect the artist in all ways, especially the female artists. We have to go a little further than the male artist, but at the same time, I have to protect the integrity of what a young man artist wants to be. He wants to do his music without getting killed in the street, been there and all that stuff. So it's a lot of work to that. But I think with a label like Real Deal is you have a chance to grow without the pressure. And if you can't afford to grow, we got your back, period. And a lot of labels do not fly you out of town to shoot videos, put your music out on every platform there is, and you don't have a dime. Nobody does that.
Well, let's just be real. He right 100% about that. Ain't no label out here. I mean, y'all moving like major labels pretty much.
Exactly.
That's why I asked why you don't feel any risk with that. Because like honestly, this is why I asked that, right? 2009, I was working with, I had just left Sony and I started working with all these new independent artists. And the goal really was to prove that I was an artist, but also prove that I had a nice roster. So we get in the studio, I put everybody in the studio, I make sure the project's done, album's out, everyone's gone, right? This is money that gets invested, time that gets invested, and if everyone's not moving accordingly, the only thing to keep artists moving for real is contracts.
Facts.
You know,
Facts. Like, motivation from the guys is something different. You know what I'm saying? And when you can have somebody to sit down and say, hey, you know, I'm gonna help you make your dream come true. I'm gonna help you become a superstar without all the pressures behind it, without all the numbers behind it, without all the goals behind it. It's like, yo, this is what we're doing. We're gonna record this single, we're gonna sell this record, we're gonna make it happen. So at that point, it's at the pace of the artist without the pressure from the label and what other label and the other label and the other label, you know, you understand that, you know, and the distribution company and so on. If a lot of times, some people, man, they have like today with what's going on in the world today, COVID shutting down and so much violence in America, it's a lot of PSD. I think they say, I might be saying that wrong, whatever. It's a lot of pressure on a artist, and it's a young person, Black female, Black male, young white male, young white female, artist wise, it's a lot of pressures in life. So with me, I'm like, I'm not trying to put those pressures on you. So once I get the music, I'll go to work for you. So I'll work 80%, but once I'm done with that 80%, you got to come up with that 20%. But it gives you time to get your mind right, and be able to deliver that 20%. At Sixcess, I watch your music. You're a great artist, great performer, and you don't need no pressure. Me and you go back and forth and whatever. But as me, as a man, just meeting you, I'm proud of you as an artist, and I go, wow, if everybody could be like that. Not to be funny, but if everybody could take that pressure and just run with it, man, look, you know, everybody can't take that pressure. So sometimes the label has to take that pressure off the artist's shoulders and just take it and handle it. You know, I'll put the weight right here and I'll handle that for you and I'll go to work. But when I call you and say, hey, now it's your time to promote you and push you, you got to come through. If you can't come through, it's over with. It's done.
The sad thing is, like, a lot of artists, I used to work for Sony, and I used to work for, like, the radio stations where they used to do major events and stuff like that, right? I was always that guy behind the scenes in awe, right? Like, oh, this is amazing. Like, everyone's running around, artists walking into shows, and everyone's making sure their Coca-Cola is there, their water, you know what I'm saying? Making sure, like 5 minutes, but then like the artist is having a great time, but then there's always that white person that come back there, 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to go.
Yeah, you realize, oh yeah, this is a business, it's fun and all, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so I understand deadlines. A lot of artists don't understand that. These new age artists do not work on deadlines anymore.
No.
I mean, it's like, I'm dropping the album.
And if you push that word deadline, that term, I should say, if you push that term deadline to somebody, hey, we need to have this by Friday. It's gonna be that next Friday. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but they don't care. You know, and it's kind of like, really, I wanted to have this done at this time because I had a plan, and I'm trying to help you become a professional artist. And a lot of times they just don't get it. I've been through some really good talent coming from where I'm at right now. Right. I've been artists in Chicago, Houston, Des Moines, Iowa, Phoenix, Arizona. I could go on. So I'm not just that person who's just here where I'm at. I go out and find some really good talent.
Yeah,
and a lot of times
talk a lot about local and expanding themselves. So that's a big thing for you.
I had an artist in the UK, bro. He was raw. He got married and so on. So he kind of quit what he was doing, but it was going.
You said that happened.
No. Trust me. I'm super happy for this dude. We put in work. When he got married, man, it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? He came to the US one time. It was like great. He did his thing. He got married, and it's like, big bro, I got a wife, so on and so on. And I'm just like, it's like coming to America type conversation. I'm like, people really talk like that. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like an artist today, me being an exec at a label, as you always say, I have to do more being a new label than probably a bigger label would have to do. I have to appease to some shit that a lot of people won't do. So if a person said, I'm gonna start a label today and they ask me, should I do it? My answer gonna be like, no, don't do it.
Correct.
It's not gonna be a good investment for you. It ain't gonna work, because dealing with artist personalities, self-esteem, and so on, it's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. And with me, I come from a flamboyant generation in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
We Versace. A lot. No, really though. We Versace shirts, gold chains, and in the car outside. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So with me, I'm like, self-esteem issues, and you crying about support? Shit, I came in here Gucci and gold to get support. I don't give a shit. You gonna support me at the end of this night? You know what I'm saying? So when I see artists now crying about that, I'm like, well, maybe your look just ain't. You ain't trendy enough for people to follow you, or your music ain't hype enough for people to follow you, or maybe you're not following the right people, or maybe the people on your Facebook, your Instagram, and all your handles ain't nobody. You can have 5,000 Facebook friends that ain't nobody, or you can have 10 Facebook friends that's somebody. I'm gonna follow that person with them 10 people that's somebody, because I'm gonna be like, yo, them 10 people is in the game. That person got something cracking. But a bunch of hating ass people on your, come on, man, you know me. Old
school still. You right, like you use social media like you walking the tape to the DJ still. Like, I'm looking for the specific people. Like, nah, I ain't fucking with you. I need the specific people. Like,
but I'm learning a lot from guys like you. I'm learning a lot from guys like you. And I what's your name? What's your name again?
Jezabel, the truth.
Jezabel, the truth. I would learn a lot from you. I learn a lot from people younger than me. So people think, nigga, whatever. No, I learn a lot from younger artists, because I go like, I could be slightly out of tune sometimes. So sometimes I had to go, when you're not paying attention, I'm back in your Facebook and I'm learning, like, what can I do to bring it back? What can I do to actually deliver this music to that younger culture? Because sometimes I might could be somewhere else. I'm Puff and Tupac, so I got to come back and be Nardo Wick and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
So we talked about that. You know what I'm saying? That was something that I think that put you over the top, as a lot of new people that come in the game and say they want to be executives. My thing is, I always challenge those people harder than I challenge the new artists. Because
my favorite artist is NBA Youngboy, and people be like, huh? That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like that energy that kid brings. And it could be weird, but I'm like, when I listen to his music, I'm like, this kid wants to feed his family. So I'm like, yo, it's cracking. Then in the older artists, I like E40, you know. Mm-hmm. I like Jay-Z. I like Nas, you know what I'm saying? I like Mary J. Blige. I like, you know.
Yeah, you say you don't like E40.
Y'all know that. Stop.
Tell me when it goes. E40, I mean, all his features are fire.
It's about the message, though. If you listen to even like your music, you got a video, and you know I love the video. I don't even need to name the song to people. I'm in love with the video, bro.
DPWI, they all know.
And the reason why I'm into that, because I'm like, this man was willing to take a risk and show that black love on tape like that, on video like that. With a lot of time, it's hyphy, it's guns, drugs, murder in a video. Stuff like that, and you took it somewhere else. I'm like, oh man, that's cold. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this ain't even my artist. I'm sharing this shit. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I'm for real though. I'm in a whole nother part of the country. I tell people like, yo man, check out this video, man. This is cold. And they be like, damn, that's kind of good. I'm like, yo, you can be in love sometime. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Jay was in love all the time on every record, and he blew up. So, you know, and sometimes people,
like, a lot of people's muses are not those artists, though. You don't hear Cool Dre get no respect. That man dropped 10, 11 albums, and we don't talk about him like we should. Artists like Ja Rule.
T.I. was saying the same thing. What was it, yesterday or earlier today, in an article, basically saying that he's one of the coldest in the game, and he don't really get no props.
I mean, listen, like I saw T.I. say that. Well, what you think about T.I. saying that? What did you think about that?
T.I. is, I mean, come on, that's a family man, bro.
Yeah.
That's a family man. So I guarantee one of his songs in his playlist is "I Need Love." You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I know that. You know what I'm saying?
T.I. is in this newfound bubble now that I kind of like want him to step out of a little bit, right? Because T.I. is a great artist and a pioneer for a culture, you know? But the one thing that T.I. doesn't understand is he really didn't connect like that outside of his own culture. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you think about the Jay-Z's, the Lil Waynes, and things like that, there were people that wanted to be these people outside of the culture. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to hit you with something that you said that. I'm in Minnesota, bro. And a lot of people's goals are to cross their music over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My goal with artists here is to cross back, because you guys are down there selling a lot of records down south.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is, as far as the black population, and from Texas, Alabama, the Carolinas, so on and so on, it's millions of black people that's buying music. So I want to, because they buy music, bro. They buy music. It ain't no streaming for free. They buying their music and they sticking with that little Boosie stuff like that, banging. So I'm trying to sell music to that with a dialect that doesn't relate to them. So it's tougher for me.
That's risky. Yeah, that's too risky.
It's tougher for me, but I know for sure that it's a gold mine there, because I've seen it from UGK and A-Ball, MJG. I can the list can go on. I can go Rick Ross, so on. I can go on.
We bigger than that now.
No, it doesn't have to be bigger than that. It's just factual that it sells, because when you look at that other side and you're trying to sell music, to that other side, they follow the trend so much, you ain't got that much time. You know what I'm saying? If it's hot for a month, I got a month to go platinum. I'm out of time. You know what I'm saying? But as far as us, our music, we got a long. Some of us are still going to juvenile concerts, bro. Selling out. I'm just saying.
But time out though. Let's be one.
See, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm glad that we brought this up, right? Because, like you said, the idea is to cross over, because that's longevity and way less hassle and stress, right? The reality of this is you can make a lot of money. And that's, if we're talking about making a lot of money, then artists don't have no question with any type of formula that we're going for right now, right? But now we're in a brand where I ask artists all the time, you're an artist. Why don't you have next month already ready, right? There should be no reason why you should be expected to go forever. A lot of artists expectancy is too high on themselves for them to have accomplished nothing. I mean, that's like all artists right now coming out and saying, I'm going to start shooting full court, Steph Curry style, and never shot a basketball.
Damn. I hope that people are watching this, and I hope they caught that statement. And like, a person could be like, oh, he's on YouTube for the flex. This is dope that you said a statement like that, man, because ain't nowhere in the world, I don't care who you are, you're not just about to jump on the field and just be Tom Brady. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. You got to work up into that situation. And if you get frustrated, you can't pull an Antonio Brown and throw off your shit and run off the field. You know what I mean? You know, you gotta.
You're right about. You definitely.
You gotta pull it together, and I've been laughed at. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 50-year-old man in the game, whatever, and I've been laughed at. But at the same time, there's that other side of life that go, don't be laughing at him. It ain't funny. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
It's not funny because you're a 50-year-old man in the game, but you're on the executive side.
Right.
This is like so I need people to understand that when they watch this interview, they're like, this isn't some 50-year-old man trying to rap. I don't need y'all out here. I don't need y'all asses 50-year-olds telling me to listen to your new record.
I'm not touching a microphone for nothing.
No, we gotta make sure they know that, because some of them will be like, look at this, he's 50 and doing it. Like, let me get out there and do it. And I have to tell him, like, no, he's putting artists on. Like, I have a timeline in my head, but I'm like, shoot, like, I'm in the game now. I understand touring. I treat myself like a rock star. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't treat myself like a rapper, because I understand one thing about rappers. Rappers get comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rappers cater to that family thing too much, to their love life, and they cater to what their friends and things and the system is doing too much. Rock stars are always constantly 100% thinking about the new sound, the next show, on the road, and sometimes they 70, 80 years old, still touring.
Still rocking.
You know? Imagine if you said that. I met this artist through my partner, my A&R, hired this lady for A&R, and she brought this artist to me. His name was Chase Mula. Rest in peace to him. And she brought me this artist, and I heard this song they had. First, I didn't like the song. I don't know. I think I was just being old and obstinate that day.
Right.
And I heard it again, and I said, holy shit, this fucking song is wild. Everybody looking at me like, huh? I'm like, yo, the hook was like, flex, flex, flex. I'm like, yo, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get Benz's, Beamers, all that. And I did all that. Guns, everything. You know what I'm saying? And did all that. And it went up. When I say it went up, it went up. And something happened to the guy. You know, the guy got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Did you feel like the pressure to have the guns in it, like the bands and stuff? Wasn't
No. It fitted. It fitted. It didn't. I didn't have the pressure to do it, but it fitted. It fit the song. But to this day, I said that with the intelligence I have, I feel kind of bad about it. But it was kind of like, how many people seen that, and that's just all they seen. They didn't see his talent. They didn't see his gift. They didn't see his dreams. They just seen some niggas in the video with a gun, with dreads and cars.
Yeah.
And that was that. So
what's interesting is that it feels like the guns are replacing the models. Like, you see less models in men videos and more guns. So,
well, guns are cheaper.
No, they're not.
No.
Well, props.
You see it sometimes, though.
Half of the guns don't even be real.
Well, in that aspect with the song Flex and with all the cars and all of that, why was the aspect to make sure the guns was in there as opposed to more models or something
it's just the culture today. That's all it is. And it was just there. And one of my buddies seen that, and he said, damn, bro, that's the first thing I see. And I'm like, yep, you're right. My bad. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, let's try not to do that no more. You know,
because the artists feel that pressure to live up to these lifestyles, and honestly, a lot of it is the label's fault. Yeah. Because if you put me in my video and and tell me to hold these guns up and shoot at the cameraman and all that shit, when people see me, and if I created ops already, which kind of like we have to do on social media, we have to create ops. Because our ops are the only ones that really keep us popping. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones talking shit about us every day. Our fans these days, they like only the girls, the little young ladies that like 16 to 25 still talking about their favorite artists, like publicly. After a certain age, no one shares who their favorites are unless you try to dog them publicly. I mean, look at all these Jadakiss fans all of a sudden. I'm like, I didn't know you guys like Jadakiss like that.
Hold on, no. Jadakiss kind of been rocking for a long time, man.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that he hasn't. I'm not saying that he has. What I am saying is, I didn't see, like, when I posted this Eminem joint with him and Jada, I didn't know all these people were Jadakiss fans. I was so blown away because I'm like, Wait a minute. Well, why has Jadakiss never been mainstream if all of y'all are fans of him like this?
I think he's been more mainstream than what we recognize, and we just didn't know, and we
Well,
just found out.
as in regards to when you do like that, you can always put artists on a mainstream level when you start if you put them in regards to, because in this industry now, unless you live under a rock or some type of like dinosaur, you understand now that there is no damn difference between indie and running your own shit and being signed. The only difference is the money behind you. And unfortunately, the thing is, what y'all don't understand is all a numbers game. So if you move in the way that the labels are moving, you're gonna make the same amount of money that you would have always made. You just can't get the places that the label can get you.
It's access. I was going to say access, because you can have all the money and still not have the access.
Correct.
No. If you got all the money, you're gonna have the access. They're gonna sell you the access. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what about
the sole access? To me is I cringe. I cringe every time I think about the sold access. Like, can you imagine? Every time I hear sold access, this is what I imagine, right? I imagine some little guy with a long trench coat in the shadows, like, hey, you can't get in the game? I got tickets. And then you run over and you get the tickets and you run to the door and they're like, bro, this the last night's game. You're like, oh, man, I got tickets to last night's game. Where's the dude? He gone.
That's hilarious.
Like, that's how I feel every time.
That you said that. And this is for all those people that want to start a label. If I could show you my inboxes, there ain't nothing in there for free. I ain't been sold this much stuff in my life. I mean, radio placement, streams, commercials, sync license. Man, I can go on and on. I'm like, yo, is there anything for free up in here?
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, y'all. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because I've been on the exec side, on the indie and the major side. I've literally sat in the room. I was freaking intern for a major label, and literally as their intern, it was my job to manage their books, watch their artists, check their tour schedules, make sure that I had to make sure that the damn balances cleared in the bank account before they sent over verses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go that far into it, and I really learned a lot during that week, right? Because I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, this game that we play in, the stuff that's not free is supposed to be the stuff that makes you money back, right? So I'm like, all right, that's understandable because this is a business. But then realistically, when the people see that you moving a part of and moving right and making a lot of money doing it, they always want to be a part of it as opposed to wanting to take from it. And that's what I realized the real people do. Like, I told you, like, for a long time, I was real skeptical of Facebook people. You know, I always looked at Facebook people like, wait a minute. These are people that are either like really delusional or really have not focused on what's going on in the game. You put yourself in a position where you've already showed your hand to everybody, right? They know I'm about my artists, I'm taking care of my artists, and I'm putting niggas in position. So now they like, oh shit, it's like the sharks in the water. They swim around like dun 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 dun.
One thing I'm jealous about her background. How come me and you ain't got no background like her? That's bogus, bro. You know,
so look, let me tell you
that we had the boss talk background too, fam.
Nah, let me tell you about the background. Right?
I just switched it up though.
I actually do have the background in my studio area, but I was talking to the wife and I was like, I gotta get an area now that really like says that I'm really getting it. And she was like, use the family room. That area definitely says it looks really nice. So I'm like, I wanted to have my like rich, like I got my artwork in the background. You know what I'm saying? I got my scene in the trees. And like it was just like this was perfect. So yeah, I'm in the office, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the family room, like this is actually nice. So I'm cool.
It's dope. I thank you for letting me come on here. And it's just kind of like me and you kept saying, yo, I'm gonna come on here. But recently I decided to like drop all distribution with anybody else and just start doing it myself because I have that connection with a company to handle that for me. Because I feel like if I'm gonna work that hard, I'm not gonna work that hard for nobody else. I'm gonna work that hard for my artists, my team, and myself, and so on.
All I've been
and
saying,
if I'm gonna bust my ass and create those numbers, I don't want to be ridiculed about how I'm doing it and what I'm doing. But I want to do that, and I want to do that at my speed and at the way I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of times you do things and people question what you're doing and why you're doing it. I don't care what level that distribution company is or whoever them, all that middleman shit and that third party label shit. I'm not, excuse my language, I'm not doing that anymore. It's like, yo, I don't need you people. You know what I'm saying? I'm basically looking at the artists they have, and I'm like, yo, I got 100 videos out in the last 2 years. They got 2. You know what I'm saying? I got 200 singles out in the last 2 years. They got 4. Yo, we got this radio. You got fake plaques you bought. Yo, man, come on, man. Look, you're not about to.
We talked about those plaques. Why you hate those plaques so much, man?
Come on, man.
Look, why you hate the plaques, man?
Because to me, it doesn't signify real work.
Correct.
It's kind of like a participation trophy, and you got 3rd place in a basketball tournament as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It ain't it. You know what I'm saying? We want Grammys, we want BET Awards, we want the real, man.
I mean, half of these artists are not even freaking registered with a PRO, and you think they about to get a Grammy?
Me and you go through this, but
that's the best thing they could get is that plaque, that $89 plaque.
Damn. Now, see, I wasn't even gonna say the price.
I'm telling y'all, like that's the best. That is the best that they gonna get, especially where you gotta understand. Half of these artists in today's pop-up only want to do it for their friends and the gram. So that looks good when their friends come over and look on their refrigerator and see it, or wherever they put it.
I want to do it for everybody. I'm trying to build something different. I come from a family background where, it's a lot of educated people, so on and so on, but then we kind of get caught in that trap where we drug dealers and bullshit. So I'm trying to create a company that I'm trying to create a superstar, as me and you talked about. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to do that. I want a person to be so big that they can change a lot of people's lives. You know what I'm saying? I want them to not just be that typical artist where they're just buying a Bentley and buying some jewelry and bought their homie some shoes. I want them to really go out there and change the community after the accomplishment they make. I don't want them just to be stuck on that one accomplishment. I want them to go do other things, you know, and that's just where I'm at. And I know it sounds like there's no way in the world that can happen. It's happened before. So
now, it can happen.
Make it happen again.
It can happen. Only thing that you're doing that is like recreating the wheel is doing it with older artists. Right?
Not all of them.
Well, I mean, like, you got to think about it. Like, if artists really have to have at least 10 years in. It's like being an artist is like going through med school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do your regular college, then you got to do your 4 other years of the doctor college, then you got to do your clinicals and all that stuff. Then you got to prove yourself to the doctor, actually be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how being an artist is. And I tell a lot of people think that it's their lack of education is why they're really messed up. And these years is your educational years. Mm-hmm. It's when you walk in the hole in the walls. That's your time to get your performance stuff up, learning about your performance rights and stuff like that. They don't understand that stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell them.
Out of 7 artists, 3 of them are a little older. The other ones is, we got an 18-year-old artist, 20-year-old artist, 21-year-old artist, 24? These kids is young, man. You know what I'm saying?
How long they been at it, though?
They still new. They still new, you're right. But check this out, though. How many people can say this? I got an artist in Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah.
I got an artist in Detroit, Michigan. I got an artist in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got artists in Minneapolis, artists in St. Paul. I got, you know what I'm saying? Artists in Chicago, Illinois. These people really, really rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I really, really went out there and put in work. They talked to big labels. It's stuff out there. But something I tell a person is this, is like, if you sign a deal right now and you really ain't got no traction, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So you're really not getting anything. But if you can go out there and create a really, really big number, they probably gonna give you 2 and 3 times over. If you create millions of followers and millions of streams and so on, and let's say you create $5 million worth of revenue off your music. Some label somewhere probably gonna give you 10 million. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get out there and work and really create something. You can't just say, "Oh, I got a hot record, and my homies like it." So what? Your homies is probably lying just to get in the party for free. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to like that record. You way in a whole other part of the country. So if I play a record to you and you say, "Well, that ain't working," I believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you say that's popping, I believe it because you're like totally somewhere else, you know? And I've been here. I'm telling you. Man, my first record myself, I had a cassette tape, dog, like in '93. So I've done this before. So I'm like, I'm not new to the game. I've done this and I've been a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I've been a rapper, but my thing, luckily, is I had uncles and shit with a lot of money. So it's like, oh, you got a show in South Carolina. I was at the show. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm at the show. It's jewelry. It's money flying. We wasn't doing it to become somebody. We was just doing it to have fun. So the goal wasn't to become a rap star. Then we was just we was showing up to the party and being part of the party. And if something did happen, so be it. But if it doesn't, we didn't matter because we was good. I think artists today don't have enough fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, it's gang, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they all want to kill you.
Make it for yourself. Make it for your family. Make it for your kids. Make it for your mama. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because if you really put your life in the music, and I know I'm probably all over the place. I'm excited about being on the show, bro. But I just think that artists got to go back and like look at their life and put it on paper and talk about their life and quit just making up shit. You know what I'm saying? Tell the truth. And if you tell the truth, it's millions of people that relate to your everyday struggle, you know, barely making it, barely making ends meet, barely can pay the rent, barely can pay the bill, probably got drug issues, probably got alcohol issues, probably got relationship issues, probably suicidal. Start talking about that stuff and we can relate to that and we're going to buy the records in the millions because it's like, that might be the song, that might be my vice for the day that keep me going. You know what I'm saying? Versus just everything is the drip, and the flex and the gang and whatever. I probably don't relate to that shit. There's millions of people that don't relate to that stuff you're talking about, so them records ain't gonna sell because we got a bunch of those records already. You know?
Yeah. I feel like everybody has a struggle story as well, though. Like nobody really comes out and actually give their family or their parents props that's in the music industry for how to raise them. Like I feel like everybody has the same. Oh, I was young, I didn't have no food, I was on food stamps. Half the motherfuckers be lying.
Y'all about to be bad.
Like you know. I would like to see more of some people telling a realistic story. Like, no, my life was okay. My parents did the best that they could. No, I didn't have food stamps. But
you know where you're going to get those records that you said that? I think the female artists will be able to do those kind of records more than the males. I think the male artists get outside and they get in the games, they get with people, they in the streets more. But I think the female artists, they feel it, man.
I had to sell my body to get food. I had to sell my body to take care of my family. I had to sleep to do this. Like, why is there no art? Like, I don't really hear artists actually.
Y'all wrong as shit right now. So y'all really about to sit here? Y'all really about to sit here and do that?
Wait,
because nobody really. Come on, man. We got sisters, aunties, cousins that been through some shit, and every one of them.
Let me be real with y'all. That type of stuff, those type of stories that you looking for are from the white rappers like Jack Harlow's and things like that. You're not gonna get that from Lil Dicky. You'll get that from him too, right? You're not gonna get that from these new rappers that's coming up in this get fast, get rich, tell
that's
your
what
real
she said,
story.
though. She said that they won't do that, and they should.
But how can they? Y'all gotta understand something, dog. These kids that's coming up now are inner city kids.
Yeah.
Now y'all showed me the last inner city that was running around with both of the parents in the household. And show me the last inner city that was running around without you having to worry about first fist fights from grade school all the way up to graduating the shootout. Little Yachty.
Let's be real though.
Like, Yachty don't talk that gangster shit.
Let's not act like there's no rappers that didn't have parents in their household. The problem is a lot of people are lying about it. Like selling the struggle story is feeling like, okay, this is what everybody else is doing. Everybody else was on food stamps. Everybody else was hungry. So let me say I was too, as opposed to being authentic and just really saying like there's different struggles. Every struggle wasn't a welfare food stamp struggle.
I mean,
and that's
listen,
all I'm saying. The rappers don't really. I was just putting my 2 cents in, saying that the rappers don't really do that.
You 100% right, but like you gotta ask yourself, artists that want to make money and artists that want to take over the world, take the world by storm, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason why people feel free to talk trash about an artist like J. Cole and won't ever talk about it when you ask who's your best. They will hardly ever mention J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, even people from North Carolina mentioned the baby before J. Cole.
Well, I beg to differ. It depends on what type of crowd you ask.
That is correct. That is correct. But then again, that crowd that you ask that is going to say J. Cole is that crowd that got both of their parents. And they ain't got to go up through that. You know what I'm saying? Their upbringing is a little different. Because at the end of the day,
they had one parent and they're just a positive being. But because there's some people that had a struggle that really like J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not into the drill and kill rap. They're just really into positivity, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, but what I'm saying is everybody's going down this dark path. And I also, even when I interview artists, I always ask them, like, so, you know, were your parents in your life or because everybody has their struggle story. And a lot of people, they be hiccuping because they don't want to say their parents wasn't shit when their parents tried the best that they could. So I was just, you know, giving my little 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good upbringing, so I'm not about to sit there and say that I had a good upbringing to a certain point, but everybody knows what happened at a certain time in America to a lot of Black families. But up to that certain point, I mean, it was really, really good. But even at that point, I was old enough to be like, yo, no big deal. I got this. You know what I'm saying? I still graduated from high school, went to the Marines, went to college, all that. So I'm not about to sit here and tell nobody like, yo, you can't accomplish some things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been to prison and all that, but that shit was on me. But you know what I'm saying? But as far as the education, I have an educated family. Like, my sister's an actress and my daughter's a psychiatrist and my son's you know, it's all the good things. It's all the good accolades as far as what a Black family or what Black people could be. I'm not that person to be like, woe is me, the man has his foot on my neck. I'm not that type of person. So when I hear those stories, I'm like, yo, you can't tell me that there's no Black success stories to rap about or sing about. It's gotta be somewhere that people can sing and rap about. And we gotta accept it and be like, yo, I can play that shit in the car that if a person talk about how hard they did to become a doctor and so on. That record could sell, dog. You can't tell me it can't, but we have to get to a point where
a doctor is not going to stop being a doctor to become a rapper, to pursue a rapper.
Hold on. You never know.
Khan, well, he's still a doctor, but he's also a rapper.
Who? You never know.
Dr. Khan. He's a West Coast rapper.
I never heard of him until just now. Literally.
I'm not saying stop and be it, but I'm saying on your way there. On your way to become that doctor, you can rap your way into being a doctor.
Y'all acting like the music industry isn't a fantasy.
It's not a fantasy. It's reality.
No.
But some people, it's really real.
I'm talking about to the fans. It is a fantasy. That's why they call fans. The music industry is a fantasy. Listen. Everybody wants to be a gangster because that's what gets portrayed. I'm sorry, y'all. The biggest movies have gangsters in them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want those roles.
Hey, I ain't say that half the records. I ain't say that 89% of the records I got out ain't gangster. I'm just saying. Yeah,
that's why they made. That's why in that movie with Chris Rock turned into the white guy. That's why he made Mr. Wellington. He showed the emphasis of that joke. What? He showed the emphasis of how even white people want they love that when they can turn on that gangster shit for themselves 1 second when they in the car by themselves or the shower. When those records come on, they go into a different level. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of people are not lyrical, and a lot of people are not socially conscious.
You know, now that you said that, where I'm at in Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, I say this is a shout out to the Twin Cities. 99% of the artists here are lyrical. 99% of the artists here are sellable. 100% of the artists here have no opportunities to make it. We don't have no major label just sitting here to help an artist get up out of here. And they got some. It's been. Let me tell you something. It's the last 2 years here. I mean, they done burnt up the town. The police killing. It's been there's some shit to talk about coming out the
Y'all
Twin Cities.
crime rate went up too. Like,
But
y'all
I'm gonna tell you
murder
something.
rate
When that crime rate went up, when you see artists here, I'm like, the first thing I hear is turn up, and I'm like, hold on, motherfucker. It's been rough. We ain't been turning up. We've been running and hiding from the police, hiding from carjackings, hiding from getting robbed at the grocery store. So you can't tell me that's all you've been doing is turning up. You can't tell me that there's no struggle in here. As far as the income, as far as to black and white is back, dude. It's rough here, and the stories that you're hearing from artists, I'm not hearing that. So I should hear 102 pops coming out of Minnesota. I'm gonna be honest with you. I should hear that. And they can sell that. So what I'm hearing
is over. That day is. I'm trying to listen. The day of lyrical rappers like top popping up to the #1 spots is over.
I'm not gonna. I won't argue that. I won't argue that.
Too.
I won't argue that because we've been seeing it, we've been living it, and it hasn't been happening.
And that's because fans are afraid to speak about the things like they used to be. It's easy, like you said, it's easy to get on social media and talk about some BS than it is to share some positivity. I mean,
me and you have kind of like not really experimented on purpose, but accidentally, me and you have made some really good posts about some serious stuff, and ain't nobody on it but me and you. Me and you have made some posts about some bullshit. It's 700 people on there. We like, huh? Yo.
And the crazy part is when you realize something like, all right, we're beacons. You know what I'm saying? We're beacons. So like who we draw ourselves to are really more so the people that are drawn to us. You know, so it's like, all right, I'm about to get out here and I'm about to make this record. And if I put out this record and it don't get any traction, I feel like I did something wrong. No one's attracted to me. So now if I see that all my friends in my circle, because like I said, a lot of artists act like their core is their circle. Until you break out of that circle and start expanding, you never gonna make the best music of your life, right? If your circle is going to be catering to the type of music that you make, you're always going to be felling and making the bullshit, because at the end of the day, you got to deal with your friends telling you NBA Youngboy my favorite rapper right now, and you like, I want him to say me. You know, so you get out that joke and you're like, I'm running down on you with the rounds. I'm trying to kill you. And I say you do all the bullshit in the world. But if they tell you, yo, Common, my favorite rapper right now, you gonna get up there, Joe, and start hitting some. Oh, I can spit like Common, and you gonna start hitting them records. And then next thing you know, until they break out of that circle, they're never gonna make.
I gotta do something because I'm gonna be out of line here. I want to give a shout out to Let Trish Be Trish. I want to give a shout out to you, Sixcess. I want to give a shout out to Reed Bricks, Shine Hustle, Pills Doe. Go Cool. I just want to give a shout out to the artists that I work with and say, hey, you know, I feel privileged for people to even give me the opportunity to help them out. You know what I'm saying? I thank you for letting me share your video. I thank them artists for letting me assist them in trying to become something. And a lot of times we don't really say that to people, and it's like, yo, I thank you for letting me share your art. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important to me to be able to do that, because coming up in the 80s and 90s, the only thing we sharing is negativity. So now I get a chance to be part of sharing some positivity. So it's really cool to me. You know what I'm saying? It's a cool thing. It's groovy, because when I was doing music, I didn't really have no support. It's just I got a bunch of money and we just gonna make it work. But you guys now, it's like it really don't take as much money. Y'all got social media, y'all got Facebook, y'all got iTunes, y'all got Spotify, y'all got TikTok. Man, I'm like an artist right now, man. You can sit back at the crib, record a record, download that thing, push the share button, and cross your fingers, and you might hit pay dirt. You might. I'm not saying this for sure. Don't get me wrong. You still got to work, but
like, yeah, come on now. We all know the secret is touring. If they're not touring and hitting the road, nothing matters.
I didn't get there yet. That's coming, and that's gonna come down the line. But touring costs money for transportation, lodging. How you gonna eat on the road? So you need merch, you need so on and so on. And if you got a real label backing, you got to get on the right tour to fit your music to help you sell your music. Or you can create your own tour like you've done yourself. Congratulations, man. I'm really stoked about that. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna catch one of those dates. One of our artists gonna be on that. But what I'm saying is, like, as far as for me to sit behind a desk or a cell phone or whatever and try to become the next Google, you know what I'm saying, or the next Def Jam, this work is hard because I'm dealing with people in label situations that have no rappers, bro, or they have no good rappers, and they got some imprint deal with Sony or Empire or Universal, whatever. I'm like, nigga, you ain't got no rappers. You might as well give me that because you have no talent, bro. So you might as well let me get that because my artists are better. Then they post, then they be like, oh, here's my artist. I'm like, dude.
I hate to say this, but listen, man. Half of these people that be screaming that they got deals with Sony and they got deals.
They got them though, G.
I mean, listen. If you just because you know a person that got you a piece of paperwork, don't mean
they
you got
him. The thing I'm telling you is they got them, and they don't have an artist, so they'll go. And it's a guy probably watching this YouTube right now.
I know.
Hold on. Stop going on my Facebook, reaching out to every artist, offering them bad deals. You gotta stop doing that because then it kind of looks like I'm accountable for that, and I'm basically like speaking up for somebody that really ain't that good of a person. It's like what I'm saying is Sixcess. You're a really good artist, bro. I watch you, and I try to tell my artists like, hey, watch that guy, man. This guy know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? This guy knows what he's doing. This guy is up and coming, but he's doing all the right things. So you might want to study him like a book because he's doing the right things. Because an artist has to, at some point in his career, be accountable for everything he does for his own success. It doesn't matter what the label does or anything. It's about you. So that label can say, hey, this record ain't selling. You didn't move no volumes, and they dropping you. What do? Do you quit? Or do you really go out there and work hard for yourself and your family? You got to know how to throw your own shows. You got to know your publishing. You got to know how to put out your own records. You have to learn in that process, or else basically an independent label like myself will get up tomorrow like, I'm about to buy houses. I ain't doing music. And I'm done. So what you gonna do then? You got to find another person that's really gonna care about your music and your career and your family to even give a shit about your music. There's not another person like me in the country that's gonna fly you across the country and shoot a video, or put your records out for free, or do your promotion for nothing. Or there just ain't that, bro. Or be on a show like you right now and even shouting out your name. You know, there's not that many people in the industry or entering the industry that would do that. They worried about self. They worried about their own Willie, their girl's fur coat, they side pieces, gold chain, so on and so on. And I can go on. They don't really care about no artist. They worried about the money they're gonna make, and they can shaft the artist and be done and leave somebody broke. They done stole their publishing. They done stole their masters, everything. But with me, the artists own the publishing 100%. They get the royalties 100%. Artists make sure that the label recoups the money that they spent, and everything else goes to the artist. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you just get a percentage?
I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Trust me. That's a secret nobody needs to know about.
What if they can't recoup? Like let's talk because a lot of people, a lot of these artists have never been signed. Mm-hmm. Like I used to have a writer's deal. I had an 80-20% deal with Sony. I used to I really shopped around when I left Sony. I shopped around a lot from like Def Jam, Universal, So when I did these things, Capitol, I learned a lot. I learned the art of, what they'll offer you and why they'll offer you this. What is the upfront? What is the budgets? And like a lot of the deals that I've turned down, really, most of them was because of the main factor is needs and wants, right? If a label is about to grab you and put you on the shelf, well, they don't need or want you. They just know what time it is. And most artists don't know what time it is. They don't know that you may do a mini tour, and because you gave away yourself for 20,000, 80,000 or whatever, you may not see nothing that whole tour. And it's like, wait a minute. Do we have plans on the album dropping? Do we have plans on anything? And a lot of these deals that y'all gonna get nowadays, like you said, if you ain't got traction, you're gonna be sitting on somebody's shelf. It ain't nothing wrong.
If you don't have no traction, everybody don't know what traction. Trackable data is everything. Trackable data could be sold for a lot of money. And if you actually have a lot of following and you're actually doing a lot of streaming and you actually have I don't care what it is. If you actually moving units yourself, you really don't need a major label to eat. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you do, you could probably double the profits that you're making yourself with another label because they're going to come in and They're going to come in and purchase that data. With me, I want to protect the data and try to help you make money off that. But at the same time, you got to constantly be recording and working, because if you don't have a good catalog, we have nothing to sell. But if you have a really good, like Reed Bricks, he has 3 albums out and he has music out with a lot of people. We have something to sell there. But some of these other artists, they got like 4 or 5 singles, or they got 10 videos, no songs on. So it's like, for me, my job is like, yo, we got to get that stuff out there to sell. So yeah, a lot of these artists are new. I have 2 artists that in their pocket probably got $250,000. These some ballers, these some straight out trappers, whatever. They got music. So now that we're doing business, like it's happening, and they're like, damn, bro, I can make money off of that. I'm like, well, you got the money to promote it, so yeah, you can make money off of that. But there's artists that might be better than them that can't make money off of that because they have no money to do it. So what I did is try to get a good team of people that can work together and say, hey, these 2 artists got a lot of money. You guys don't. You guys support these artists and work with these guys, and they got your back. And now all these artists can make it off of the promotions that these guys are paying, and I kind of just put it all together. So, and a lot of artists can't feel that. They don't want to work with that. They want to be the person, but they don't have no money. I'm like, if you don't have no money for marketing, you can't be the guy. But I can fit you in here to probably catch a wave off these other people and buy you some promotion packages and so on, because you got some other artists that got some money and they just want a little support from you, and they'll invest in you too.
It's amazing.
Black people in a whole, for some odd reason, we can't work together as a family, as a team, and I really don't know why, because I came up in a household with the mom, the dad, the grandparents, the aunt, so on and so on. And when it was tight, you was eating at your auntie's house, you was eating at your grandma's house, so on and so on. So the method of teamwork I learned from the Marines, so it's like, sometimes the team got to feed the team. But I see that a lot of people probably didn't come up like that, so they don't get it. So if you ain't got it, nah, boo-boo, you ain't got it. I'm like, well, if you're not a person that don't want to be in a good team, I'm Bill Belichick and this is the Patriots, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want to be on that team, you don't want to be on that team. If you can't be on a good team and you don't want to work hard with a team and support people, don't call me. I'm not even trying to be the guy. I want the artist. I'm gonna tell you how cool I am. If I went into a boardroom today and it was like, yo, what artist you got? And I'm looking at my music, I might share your video. And the reason why I'm doing it, I'm thinking of the best case scenario for all of us. The reason I have to do it is because I cannot walk out of here without a deal. I don't care. Hey, dog, I use your music. I got this deal. We good. That's just me, because I'm always thinking for everybody and some people that not are here. A lot of people are going in with some trash ass song and hate on themselves not to feed everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go in there to think about what's the best case scenario for a whole lot of people. So with me, with Real Deal, I'm not just trying to sell my team. I'm trying to sell a whole lot of people at one time, because I know the music industry is a bunch of thugs and criminals anyway. So if they're trying to get over, it's on record. My ass is trying to get over too, and I'm trying to get over for a whole lot of people, man. And I know for sure that if you put me in the right situation, I'm not gonna get a deal just for one person. I'm gonna get a deal for multiple people, because I know a different level of talent, big dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't know no bum rappers. From you all the way to my people, I don't know. I'm looking at, and I'm gonna say this. I look at the Nardo Wicks. I look at Pooh Shiesty. I look at the artists and I go, man, I know people better than them. Get the hell out of here. Yeah. But I understand that their marketing was a lot better financially than some of the people that I know. But I know for sure that if you get me in the right mood, the right people, whatever the amount of cash it costs, we can pay for that. But a lot of times when I meet those people, they want me to pay them to have that conversation. And I'm like, so you want me to pay you to have that conversation with that person? And instead of just saying, partner with me and let me in the room and I got you and I'll make sure you eat off of it.
Because they can never, because they don't have that relationship. Anybody that tells me pay them before I meet a person, you don't know that person, dog.
What?
You don't know that person.
Dang.
You don't know that person.
Said it. Y'all niggas is lying.
I already told y'all, 2022, I'm Cynical Sixcess. On Boss Biz Radio, Like we spent all last year telling y'all how to get money as indie artists, telling y'all that you can eat as indie artists, and everyone that listened, thank you for calling me. Thank you for sending me your texts. They were the most beautiful things in the world. I read them, and I feel good when you guys leave me your messages and tell me how everything is working for you right now. And I just want to let y'all know that here at Boss Biz Radio, we nothing without y'all. Y'all the real MVP.
For
But now to
real.
all y'all people that didn't listen and calling us like, y'all, we don't know what we talking about. We this, that, and third. I'm here to tell y'all, cynical success is in full effect. And all those people, I have never, ever made a play, right, from anybody that I have had to pay. And I'm going to tell y'all why that is. Well, because what I've realized now, and I like being in Atlanta, because Atlanta has it's opened my eyes to see everything, right? To like not just from an entertainment standpoint, but from a how people move and what people say. You know what I'm saying? This industry is like not like being in a small market like PG County or DC. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that at all. It's like you realize got to understand what's happening and what's going on. Because
I'm gonna ask you a question though. As a female fan to music and a female influencer at this point, what do you think as far as a person like me and Sixcess? You know, we do what we do. What are we lacking? As you as a female seeing it, what do you want to see more of?
Well, I'm a difficult. That's difficult for me to answer. More so because I like all types of music. I like all genres. As far as music is concerned. Now, when it comes to, and that's what you're asking me about. Are you asking me specifically about music or management or label?
Music in general, like.
Okay, so with music in general, I listen to just about everything. Country, jazz, Afro Caribbean, hip hop, R&B.
Okay, so I'll get more specific. What do you want more musically from young black men? How's that?
I mean, honestly, I want less of that. I'm not really into auto tunes, but that's me personally. But I want more authenticity. So like, instead of everybody, how do I say it? Altering their authentic voice on music. Like I like authenticity. Like when you hear like a Pooh Shiesty, or if you hear like a Nato Wick or what's his name? That died, Pop Smoke. Like, you know, like I want people to be more true to themselves. And as far as the drill music is concerned, I mean, I can't tell people how to be great artists, right? I could only speak on what I like and my preferences.
Right.
But as far as, you know, the violence and music that comes with the music, I don't think that's going to change. And I don't think artists are going to not be true to themselves and rap about stuff that they don't want to rap about. So that's really a difficult question. I just said a bunch of nothing.
Because listen, at the end of the day, right? There's several phases to being an artist that I believe, right? There's that first phase that says, okay, I want to be an artist. Now, the people that benefit the best are the people that say that when they're 12, 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? 10 years old. They're the ones that benefit the most from saying that. Of course, us to say we 20, 21 years old, we already come in the game different, right? Because this is why it looks weird to us. It's like when you're a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old to say, I want to get in the studio, you tell your mom, you tell your dad, you tell your uncle, you know what I'm saying, whoever your influence is, OG, take you to the studio, get you in there, OG, running you around town to perform, you know what I'm saying, like they're giving you the light. A 21-year-old sees this, right? They see these kids getting on. They see these kids coming up, not realizing that these kids been in the game already 4 or 5 years. They were freaking, if they're 20 now, they were 15 when they started working, right? The budget has already been invested to see if this kid got it. Now it's about longevity, right? A lot of you artists that keep thinking that I'm 25 and I'm going to go in the studio every month and drop a single and I'm going to drop single by single. Well, I'm going to tell you, you've already lost the turtle race because they're dropping albums. They're dropping EPs and albums. and deluxe albums, and then another album, and a mixtape album, and a collab album, and you're sitting there looking at yourself like, well, my single is at 1 million streams. Well, big freaking deal. They got freaking 28 records right now, all at 1 million streams.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, what are you like? I asked y'all, like, if we competing to be the best. Now the thing is, what's funny is, Jezabel, I find it interesting, right? You said you want to hear more authentic sound, right? And that like, we want to hear more artists not using the auto-tune, but you know where it gets scary? We look at the charts. As an artist, I get to speak and defend the artist. If you are a real artist, you're looking at the charts, and at all the number ones are melodics. The top 10s are melodics. The top 20s are melodics. You may get down to 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You hear some authenticity. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the lyrical rappers are not even on there.
Nope.
But I'm not even into like all of that lyrical rap stuff. Like I'm more into like
drill rappers are not on there either.
So I mean, okay. So when I say, all right, you won't mistake Drake for anybody, right?
Correct.
If you hear a Drake record, you're gonna know that's Drake, right?
Correct.
If you hear NBA Youngboy, you're gonna know that's NBA Youngboy.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So my thing is that, like, authentic in where you stand out from others, but you're still selling. So that's a Future. The only person that mimicked Future was Designer. So you might get them two mixed up, but before Designer, if you heard a Future record, you was doing Future.
I haven't talked to a label recently, and I mean, I've talked to probably 30 different labels. It's a lot. I haven't really talked to a label that specifically has some certain type of artist that they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? They're not. But most of the music I'm hearing, like is auto-tune, melodic, whatever. That's what I'm hearing. And some of the stuff is really good. Don't get me wrong, whether I like it or not. And some of it, I'm just like, you're just doing it because you went into a studio and they said you can do auto-tune, and it just makes no sense. It's not fun. The beat's not fun. It's just like, yo, I'm just about to go here and auto-tune and trap it out, and I got a record. But then sometimes I've heard some really good records, and I go, man, this is a really good record. And as soon as I reach the artist and I talk to him, I'm like, no, I'm not about to waste no time with this kid. You know, it's like, it's crazy. So like for me, it's like when I'm entering the game, I know you said like, is the bottom line making money, getting a percentage? Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Right. Yeah, it is. But at the same time, I don't want to waste the time and energy on somebody who really does not want to do this for a long time. So if you're working with me and you're an artist right now, I'm looking at 5 years right now. I'm not looking at one song and then you run up out of here because, yo, it's going to take me more than 90 days to create something. You know what I'm saying? I need a little more time than that. So I need some time to create that. Yeah, I have a good team and they work hard. But like,
hold on 1 second. Let me address this chat real quick. Singers use auto-tune. Real singers use auto-tune as well. Somebody just said, why don't they just learn to sing? I just wanted to let them know singers use auto-tune. Go ahead.
Because a lot of time engineers and producers kind of sell that to the singers in whatever. So if I'm in the studio and a person doesn't sound that well, I probably would say, hey, yo, let's do auto-tune because it's a really good song, and I think that this song should get recorded and get put out.
But what people are talking about is auto-tune heavy. Auto-tune is on every record that you hear. Auto-tune heavy.
I mean, it's like another instrument, bro. I mean, it's like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, think about the Zap records with Roger. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do it, you know, Computer Love and so on. You rock into that shit, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a whole nother instrument. So I'm not saying it's bad because I love T-Pain. I like all his records. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really care that it's auto-tune. It sounds good, and I'm ready to dance and stuff.
It gotta sound good.
I hate an auto-tune record and they killing somebody on the record. It's like, come on, you know.
Nah, listen, Thugs sing now. Thugs be singing, but like honestly, like I say, it's always right now we're up against the machines and we're up against the access, right? Of course, back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you was not going to accidentally buy a record or stumble across somebody that sounded like somebody unless you was walking up and down the street or going to showcases and talent shows. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to sound like whoever the top dogs are at the end of the day. Real artists look at the charts, and artists that get to that point in their life and start saying, okay, I want to be signed, they start looking and searching for that sound. And until fans, real people start telling you, like, yo, you found it, then guess what? You're going to be like one of those artists that's shopping around and looking for your sound. And for real,
but I mean, you can't just follow the trends that are out there to try to create a fan base what other people already have. You got to actually go out there and work and find people that like your music. You know what I'm saying? So when she gets to the point, like, you know, what are you going to do different to make people like you? What has not been done musically in hip hop and R&B? Everything has been done already. So it's like we're going to be recycling trends that have already been there anyways. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's like Chuck Taylor Converse or the old Jordans from $9.89 for $300. You know what I'm saying?
Even if a rapper walks out on stage barefoot, it's already been done.
Yeah. So with me as a label head, man, it's like me hearing music, and I've been listening to music for a long time. I'm like, man, I heard that shit before. You know what I'm saying? I heard that before. But some people do it well enough to where I say, yep, we can invest in that. But some people is just like, I have to tell artists sometimes and they get offended and want to shoot and fight. You ain't that good, bro. You might want to try something else. You know what I'm saying?
If you heard it before, the artist is not that good. Because I tell everybody all the time, first of all, let me ask your question, Jezabel. What I mean by shopping around to find your sound, that is going from producer to producer, engineer to engineer, studio to studio, trying to figure out where's my sound and is this the right sound? And is this the right place to be? That's like a whole
every artist in every city does not have really good producers and really good studios in it to go out and find that, bro.
Well, when I said shop for your sound, because in my mind, I'm thinking you're self-developing yourself. Like, you know, you're developing your sound and the engineers just help enhance your sound as opposed to you. Like for instance, today or tomorrow, if I wanted the rapper sing, like, would I go to figure out how I'm going to sing, or would I start singing and then go around to perfect my singing skills?
Exactly. You're going to first figure out how you want to sing.
Okay. So that's why when you said shop for sound, I was like, what? Like,
yeah,
like shop for sound, like, shouldn't you develop your sound and then shop to enhance your sound?
No, because just put it like this. The first stage is going to be, I want to sing it like this. And I'm going to go to a studio and I'm going to get in there, and they're not going to either they may get it or they may not get it how you have already interpreted in your head. So now you changing up your sound to accommodate that studio sound, whether it be headphones, whether it be the producer, whether it be the beat selection, whatever the case may be, until an artist knows what their sound is, they're always going to be drawn, and the narrative is always going to be based on who you're working with. And the reality of it is, why you have to figure out how you want to sing first, because that's the research that you need to be doing. Who's the producers and who's the engineers that are doing this sound?
Nobody's doing artist development anymore as far as labels, because nobody really has time for that. They just hoping that an artist is already established and they already have their sound, kind of like what she said. They're hoping that they're already that. So if you get to a studio and you got a 2-hour session, we don't have an hour to be trying to, well, what you going to sound like? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you need to know what you sound like when you get there. Ain't nowhere to work. We ain't got time for that. I mean, I've been in the session.
But you know what, Will? People really like, and I understand what success is, because I've been in 4-hour studio sessions, like, you know, like, and I'm just saying, like, you didn't.
What did they get accomplished in that 4 hours? Because 4 hours in the studio, I'm getting 3 songs done. I don't give a shit. Nobody. I was ready already before I done practiced these songs for 7 days. I know what I'm about to do. If you finish one song in 4 hours, you need a reality check. Seriously, because that's too much money spent on one song.
Like, honestly, but what y'all not understanding is, that's why I said at the 20-minute mark that it takes at least 5 to 10 years that you need to be seasoned, because that is the training process.
We're not disagreeing with you.
New artists don't know that. New artists do not. A new artist is not going to walk into, even if a new artist is lit in his studio at home that he always records.
Have you ever seen a rapper's interview lately? You got some kid at the jewelry store at the Icebox with 300,000, and as soon as he start talking, you can't understand nothing what he's talking about. So they figure, well, shit, if he can do it, I can do it too. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just saying. dialect be that of a 7-year-old, bro, and be 25. So Cass is gonna be like, well, if he can do that, I can do it too. Get in the studio and you be like, man, what? And I've been into some studio sessions, bro, where I go like, yo, let's just cut this. And I went into a studio session recently with our artist Let Trish Be Trish, seriously. And the beat came on and she's rapping and she's doing her thing, and I heard her music before that. And no disrespect to her, my A&R was like, I wasn't that confident at first. I was like, I don't know. But when she got in there, and I think just the fact that the studio was super fucking nice and great, like you said, it was where you needed to be to record. It was that. She delivered some shit. And it was just like, she even herself probably was like, whoa. So if you give a person the proper tools and the proper recording space to create that whole energy and everything. It's like, if we record in the bathroom, it's gonna sound like the toilet. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But if we record in the studio, that's $500,000, and we got a good team there, we probably gonna deliver some good sellable products. So you know,
so you were more confident. Would you say that her style changed once she walked in a different studio?
I think the truth in her heart came out to like, you know what? This is what I'm talking about.
And you know what's crazy? How many records did y'all do?
We just did one that day.
So if y'all go back by like the third session, she'll probably give you like a whole, like the real.
Yeah, it'd be like she probably gonna be like, we ain't going nowhere. We about to do this. And I truly believe in that. And with me, I've been through 4 female artists, and I'm gonna tell you something. There was a time that I said I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing a female artist again. I don't care what nobody say. You can't get me to do a female artist. You can't pay me to do a female artist. I done deal with the baby daddy drama. I done deal with I done deal with I done dealt with it, bro. And to the point where I'm saying, you know what? I cannot deal with the maintenance of something like this because, I'm just trying to record a record. I don't want to get in your pants. I ain't want to do nothing. I want you to record a record. I want you to be great. This time is the first time I say that an artist went in there and rocked the record. And went about that business like, I see you later, big dog. Let's get it. And that really felt good for me because it was like somebody who finally gets it. Like, yo, we're not here to hurt you. We're here to push your gift that God gave you and sell this music. But I've been in a studio with female artists, and it's just like, some good ones, bro. I could play you some music. You'd be like, what happened? And I'd be like, you know what happened? You know what I'm saying? The stripper rapper, the baby daddies, all the typical stuff that you go, dang, man, whatever. Even and then the artist that Stefan helped me with Birkin, I need to get her to Minnesota because she sent me a record that I've never cried for no music in my life. She sent me a record and
you cried?
It's called Problem. And I heard the record, man, and I played it, and I told my aunt, and I said, holy God, I said, man, this girl right here, given the opportunity, I don't care what nobody say. This girl right here is a superstar. This is it. I'm like,
I told you she a star. I told him she a star.
Man, I played the record for several people, man, and people was like, everybody stopped and said, shut up, turn that up. And it was banging. And I just said, after I heard that record, that made me say, you know what, I'll work with a female artist again. Just for hearing that record, because I was done, bro. I was like, I ain't doing this anymore. But she inspired me to say, I'll give a female artist a chance again, because sometimes you got to just look past the past bullshit and just say, all right, whatever, that was an experience, and now you know how to deal with it. So now I'm approaching it like, hey, yo, I'm just here to record your music, and whatever your personal life is, I don't want nothing to do with it. But please just be available for your opportunity that we're trying to give you, because this really can happen. 3 minutes and 30 seconds could change somebody's life forever, and the family life if you record the right song. And if you do it properly and connect with the right people, it can change the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? It can change the world. So when we going into this music thing, I got cars. I'm not walking. I got convertibles and trucks, and I done had BMWs, and my homies got Bentleys and mansions. I'm not in this for money. I'm good. My rich homies is like, don't do that. Let's go buy this building. Let's go open this restaurant. I'm like, nah, man, let's help these people do something different, because they come from a cycle that's just not okay. So
man,
if we can help people change their life with this music, let's rock and roll,
Yeah, like I really like what you're doing. I just want you could really end. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much, and we'll talk offline about it, I guess. But when I look at this whole music industry now, I look at the artists and I always say, okay, we got two things, and everybody think I hate 9 to 5ers and shit like that. But I'm like, look, y'all work 9 to 5s, it's on percentages. Don't think for a second what you make is what that company made. You know,
No.
and a lot of people don't understand that no matter what, you have to put in work. You know, and it's years that you have to invest because a lot of these people think that a lot of these artists are new fly by night artists, and that's the most disrespectful thing in the world. You know, and a lot of people is scared of that B word, that budget word for sure. Like they hate that word. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I know. I say budget, and my whole Facebook go crazy.
Yeah. No, that word is like really scary because honestly, this is not a business to a lot of artists. Artists are artists, right? And that's the power that you have as an exec, kind of like to change the narrative because they have to understand when you working and when you just trying to make something happen and shit.
Yeah.
I don't be like
just so people hear this. Where you at right now, Sixcess? What city you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Jezabel, where you at right now?
I'm in DC, Maryland.
So for my people that are watching this, my people, Atlanta, DC. Outside Jezabel, I just met her today, but I know who she is. Sixcess, this is I'm in Minnesota, y'all. These people somewhere else. These people know what I'm doing. So I'm not just like up here like we met these people today. So your music is getting in places that you probably never could have got it there yourself. And I'm not just talking to people. I fly places sometimes. I'm telling nobody, your music is getting out there everywhere. It's getting out to the UK. It's getting out in other places. So don't look at this label and be like, this small ass label. You got me messed up because you know what I'm saying? I'm doing stuff that the big labels don't even do.
What people need to really understand is, really, you're doing your formula is what Rockefeller was. 100%.
They don't get it though.
You're like Biggs. You're like Biggs or Dane. Well, I don't know if you're going in people's board meetings at Kirking out, but yeah, they don't understand that. There wasn't no artist signed to Rockefeller. It was just a bunch of friends saying, we know this business, we're going to make it work and see what happens. They made a lot of records. Now, I also want to let everybody know I'm on record saying that is the downfall of Rockefeller Records.
True facts.
You know, not having people on contract and not having artists like signed and really that was their downfall. And that's why Jay-Z is the GOAT because he was the only one that understood and learned when none of them wanted to learn. And you know, I want to play devil's advocate for Jay-Z once. I'm thinking that Jay-Z called all the guys and told them, look, this is how we got to do it. And everybody kept saying, just rap, nigga. You know what I'm saying? like, all right. I mean, you know, so it is what it is. But
and you know, the funny thing about that you say something like that is like the privilege to be able to fuck with a label that actually can get your name out there and you still kind of free to do whatever. At least have enough respect for them. Like if you're gonna make a move, to sit down and talk with them and let them help advocate that situation. I'm seeing like a lot of artists that kind of holler at me, reach out to me, possibly want to do work with me, and then if somebody else reach out to them and they dive into that situation, and then kind of be like, well, don't you mess with him, bro? I mess with me. You holler at me, don't you know what I'm saying? So
and then guess what they do? They sign contracts.
I would tell anybody, if you don't really have major traction, you ain't got no business signing up with nobody because you ain't got nothing to sell them anyway. So you know you're getting a bad deal.
I watch artists that signed and got alligator mouths. Like honestly, it's nothing scarier when I see that. I watch artists that signed that be having like fucking 100 followers, and I be like, "Yo, did you just start this joint like a minute ago? Like, what the hell is happening?" Right? They be signed to like. I'm not gonna shoot none of the labels down on live like this, but they be signed to some real sketchy labels, and I be like, "Look, young, I get everybody want to chase this indie. I get everybody want to be independent, but y'all understand that is not the idea." when you sign with an independent label, it's not for the artist to be independent.
Yeah.
It's for you to move under the independent labels structure. Now, if you want to move your own way, then you pretty much just go ahead and have your own label called Sixcess Records, and
Yeah.
and do whatever you want to do.
It's funny because when you say that, my A&R one day was like, all right, we're going to fly. We're about to fly to this island. We're about to shoot this video with this artist, blah, 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 so and so. So we go do that. We fly to the island. We get the mansion. We shoot the video.
Yeah.
The female that was in the video, nice looking, whatever. So I said, hey, you know what? Do you want to record a record? So I wind up getting a beat from this hot producer, get this writer, record a song. We do it again. Hot records. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, so people are like, and I was actually at the video shoot with some established artists in the Houston area that's well known. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, damn, this brother doing it like this. I'm like, no, I just see that. I see that this shit can work. And it worked. Don't get me wrong. It worked. It's helping build the label. But what I'm saying is, I wish that me coming up, you know what I'm saying? In Sixcess, you probably too, because you work hard for yourself. I wish that me coming up as an artist, I wish I had anybody that would jig $2 on my career at that time. I just wish I would.
Listen. Oh my God, listen. We talked about this. We talked about this already off air. But that is like, I don't understand. That is the goal, artists. You don't understand. This is two things that we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. When you work for a label, you're not freaking there to like you bring on your fans and you hope your fans love the label you sign. But it's nothing worse than your label not being able to push you to their base and things like that. Like that's the weirdest thing in the world at the end of the day. And honestly, a lot of these labels, man, are not doing what you're doing. You know, they're not even.
You know, with Reed Bricks, we stay putting videos out with Reed Bricks, but that's family. But we get it done, and he comes through with his. And recently we just started dealing with an artist named Sean Hustle, and I mean, this man here. It's basically like, yo, you need this budget. He don't run from that. He like, whatever you need, here's the money because I ain't got time for it.
What is your selection process with the artists that you're picking?
I really I go out there. A lot of people send me music, but I actually go out and I hear about artists. You know what I'm saying? I hear about artists and I go out and listen, and I look for something different than like if I would have seen you, I'd have been hollering at you. I'm like, cause you got something different than what everybody else got. Are you top 10, but you definitely top 5. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need number 1. I need in the middle. If I can get in the middle, we can shoot for number 1. But if number one ain't gonna stay number 1 forever. But if we have 5, we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm saying if we have room to grow, we can win. So I'm meeting artists that I know it's room to grow. But I've met some artists that think they the shit, and it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that. So if we have, I look for artists that have room to grow, and if they have room to grow, then we can work together. But if they think they're already there, like you can't be a horrible artist. There's nothing I can do for you. I must be real. I don't have that much patience.
What's a horrible artist? Are we talking?
I do need you to have. I need you to be able to work with a team, have somewhat of a budget, not somewhat, or at least be willing to work hard for that. Be able to have a really good work ethic and be able to travel when it's time to travel. And if you have all that, and also if you're a male artist, you gotta love your family, and if you're a female artist, you gotta love yourself. And if you got those attributes, then we can win. Because I don't want to work with no selfish people. Because selfish people don't give a shit about nobody but just themselves. They don't care about the team. They don't care about the label. They don't care about nothing. Basically, you could walk in a room with a selfish person, get ready to sign a deal, and blow it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to blow it. I want a person that say, I don't even want to go in the room. You go in there and handle that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because that person's thinking about the team in its entirety, you know?
Like you say, if I get you to that city, you at least got to be able to eat. I don't want to have to baby you the whole time.
I'm not about to feed your pancakes to you, bro.
Yeah, like this label, I had to so a lot of people know because I talk about it a lot on this show. But I handle artists for major labels. When they sign them, they bring them into Atlanta or wherever they go. They fly me out. Some labels fly me out to cities to walk them around and show them how to be artists and take them to studios and teach them how to
you gonna
rap.
show somebody how to be an artist?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you one thing for certain, three things for sure. Well, a lot of people say A&R shit is dead, but it's just worded a different way, right? Mm-hmm. It's called the handler. And it's like you take these people to malls and you run around and you do whatever they want to say. And a lot of these artists I see don't really have like the slightest clue. Their label say, don't talk to them about anything. You know, like that. So when I see a lot of artists moving around, a lot of artists be like, man, that artist is really dumb. He can't handle paperwork. What they don't understand is you got to look at the person handling and behind that artist. A lot of the people be brilliant, geniuses. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow. When you
say teach an artist how to be artists, and I think about what she said earlier, it's like, so you're going to teach a gangbanger how to gangbang and a stripper how to be a stripper? Come on, it's man, because that's how we really get it.
No, but you gotta understand.
We're not getting a lot of Nas's and Lauryn Hills right now, bro. We're not getting a whole lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So we're not getting a lot of people that are coming with a lot of knowledge.
See, but when everybody talking artists in today's world, we only talking music, and there's a lot more to it than that. Artist is a job.
Gotcha.
You have to know how to conduct yourself in the interview. You have to know that if you freaking 5 minutes early, you're late. You know, like there's things that you have to know. If a lot of artists don't understand with their masters, you know what I'm saying, how that stuff works. A lot of art, when you really think about it, a lot of artists don't even understand hit structure. A lot of artists get signed because of numbers right now. Right?
Yeah.
So when I get brought into the studio, usually it's a help them write a hit song. You know, and I'm in that job. Don't say that right there. You know, like say you can say this instead. And they're like, oh, bet. You know, and I'm like, yeah, do that. You know, so it's a lot of things that go into it behind the scenes, and when artists are really trying to like picking the right beats, you know, things like that. So it's a lot to go into it. Learning how to walk into a city.
You're giving a lot of information right now, and I'm hoping that a newer artist watching this is actually listening and taking notes. Because a lot of times that stuff go in one ear and come out the other. So you a person like you can make my job easy. But a lot of time I meet artists, man, and I'm telling you, they have nothing to offer day one outside of their talent. So you find yourself really kind of like buying a used car and the engine's bad, and you're constantly trying to fix that engine to keep it running. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're constantly trying to keep the engine, and as soon as you get that car running, somebody steal it. You know what I'm saying? And it's gone. And it's like, yo, are you serious? Did I just fix that car for the next person to enjoy it? So I've been through some situations where it's an artist right now that told another person, oh, I'm not fucking with him no more. And that person was like, but you ain't putting no music out. This motherfucker putting out like 8 people. So I think it's the other way around. This man's talking to major executives at other labels. I think it's the other way around. With me, I'm like, yo, that artist need to talk to me because we had a really good record out and was making traction. Yo, you need to come and holler at me because I'm still selling that record. So while you say you ain't fuck with me, guess what? I'm still selling that record, trying to create a royalty for you. So maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm crazy, and maybe I'm out of line. So with me, I feel that my heart's big enough to really care about people like that. But at the same time, it's like I'm not no powder puff though. You know what I'm saying? It could be me and Suge Knight in the room. He might not come out that room. That's just being honest. That's just the way it is. As far as my energy, you know what I'm saying? It's real. No, it's real. It's like, yo, we not up here just gonna let people just treat us any other kind of way. I'm not gonna go out there and bust my ass for you because I gotta hear from my family like you doing all that for them people. Yo, my family ain't. They some morals. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you letting that person treat you like this? It's like, man, it's like, no, chill out, y'all. I got this. But understand how people feel that, yo, you can't let people walk all over you. I'm like, but at the same time, you got just because I don't tell you everything doesn't mean you know everything. No artist is gonna walk over me. I just know that for whatever reason, I'm supposed to be doing this. I didn't sign up for this. Whatever reason, I'm supposed to be doing this because I could be doing some way other stuff in life. I mean, I got a great job and great career. I'm not broke, busted, disgusted, none of that. But I like to do this, and it's fun, and there's a lot of people that really count on me
to make this happen. So you know what I'm saying? This shit is fun to me. It's like music is fun, putting out records is fun, promoting artists is fun. I just wish that the artists themselves would put as much energy in it as I did, and if they did, I think it'd be a whole lot of superstars coming out of my region, because I think that I go 24/7 and they go maybe 2 hours a day.
Now, like we understand that superstars are created by the labels.
Yep.
We understand that the labels put up the money, the labels do all the work, and the labels recoup all of the benefits through their publishing companies and their percentages and whatever percentages they have on with the writers and stuff like that. But the reality of the matter is the labels do all the negotiating, the labels do all the molding, the labels do all the analytical data that you're talking about, right? And that's why you know that side that the artists don't know. The only flaw is artists get really lazy and really what they call it. Oh man, pretty much when you have a false perception of who you really are, when a label jumps in and you haven't done anything to show your value, they get a false perception. And when that false perception is made in the artist's head, I have seen artists get their chain and go in the studio and get hired up and can't record records.
Why would you just want a chain and be high and get a Charger though? A Dodge Charger. Is that all you want out of a rap career?
No. Listen, I watched the artist sign a record deal. That junk was like he got like $150,000 advance.
Yeah.
And we had to take him out. And you know what he said? Take me to the dealership so I could buy a Hellcat. That was like $120K.
Okay.
Now, of course, me being the only responsible adult in the building, I said, hell no, we're not going to buy a Hellcat. You have things to do, my guy, like marketing, radio promo, things like that, because you don't want this label to put out your record and put all the money behind it, because you're going to walk in there in 6 months with your hands out looking for a check, and you're going to look dumb as hell. This $150K is going to be all that you get. I said, so what you
going to do? Shit. I mean, at that point, what you gonna do? Share a car with your family and friends?
Listen, I told him, I said, listen, bro, double the label. Whatever they put in your marketing, if they gave you $150K, they only gonna put that on your budget. So you need to know, double them, so that when they walk in there and that check is triple, you could get way more than this $150K, bro.
Yeah.
Like this, like I realized the labels are like big banks, and artists are like, when we get to a certain point, we get to walk to the like, instead of putting on a suit and going into the bank, we get to stay dressed how we dress, fly, and walk into the label and say, trust me with this amount of money, and I can make it double for you and give it and do what to do. And they look at you, they look at your paperwork, and they look at your resume, and they say, approved or denied. And a lot of the times, like, really, I tell all artists, if you want a deal, you're gonna get a deal. It just may not be what you want. You can't walk into the label saying I want 10 million like Logic got, but Logic had 13 underground mixtapes and 17 underground albums. You know,
yeah.
But if you want to walk in there, you can walk in there with, and you can't walk in there and say I want a 10 deal when they got over 100 million YouTube subscribers. You know. Right. You gotta look at the people that got deals on your level, and say, okay, well, John got a deal with RCA and he has 3,000 followers. Let me go in and try to get a John deal. Well, that deal may be performing at a bunch of clubs and open mics.
So you like on a chitlin circuit, kind of like.
It's gonna be a chitlin circuit. But, come on, y'all. We know what we learned from chitlin circuits. You can get that from chitlins. It just takes a little while longer.
Yeah,
it may be McDonald's on the road, but
what do you think about this? Now we had to talk about artists paying for slots, paying for a performance space and time on shows, in different places. I mean, my ideology of it is probably different than most artists, but as an artist, I'm asking you, how you feel about it, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it after you say that.
Before y'all get into that, do you guys have a lot of shows over there in the Midwest, like in
Oh
Minnesota,
yeah, they have a show probably five. I'd say 6-7 days a week.
Is
It's
it
possible.
more of a hip hop scene, R&B scene, or just all genres are
There
welcome?
was only one. I mean, you had Prince come from here. Next, it's more R&B town. You know, like Alexander O'Neal, Sherelle. I mean, stuff like that. So it's more of an R&B town and grunge and rock and roll. But hip hop is starting to grow. So it's like this is a really good place to set up a hip hop label because it's so new and it's so many people. Like, but actually, one time we had the biggest hip hop festival in America called Soundset was here here in Roseville at the fairgrounds. It was one of the biggest, like a Lollapalooza or something like that. It was huge until so right before COVID, and they ended it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so much unrest up here. The police price got too expensive. I mean, I do an outside festival myself, and the price of the police to secure an event is super expensive. So you probably use your whole budget in its entirety on security itself that you may not even need. You know what I mean? But that's just the rules of renting out public parks and public grounds. You have to use the police that are there. So you're paying probably 85 hours a police officer, and you're probably getting 50 police officers. That's a lot of money for 4 or 5 hours. You're gonna be like, man, I don't have any money to really get a high name artist because you're spending all your money on the security itself. So I mean, unless you can, who's coming to see the police? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it gets kind of tough. But as far as that, I tell an artist right now. I know I asked him the question, but I'm just gonna get to the answer anyways. I look at it like this: like it's like buying billboard space on a billboard somewhere. If a person's throwing a show in some town and I can show up and I can get on that stage and it's going to be 100, 200 people there, I'm coming to town with my download cards, my t-shirts, whatever. I'm going to take that 5-7 minutes, but I'm a network and I'm going to go city to city to city. And with the price of a Spirit Airlines and stuff like that, I probably can get 5-6 cities for $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And go hit some shows for $100 a pop. Just saying, in general, maybe not. But I can hit them shows and I can actually push my brand. I'm not gonna really, like, if I could show up to a whole bunch of cities versus like, well, you're gonna have Drake, what's his name, Lil Durk come to town. They want $2,000 for a slot. Why would I pay $2,000 for a slot in my town and I'm really not networking when I can go to a bunch of cities and jump on a bunch of different shows with a bunch of fans anyways and really get my name out there, network with people just on the street and build that. So I see a lot of people feeling like if you pay for a slot, that's stupid. I said, hey, well, if that's the case, then why would you buy a billboard? Why would you do Google ads? Why would you do Facebook ads? Why would you do any of that? Because if you can get out and promote yourself in another city, you can network. This thing, if you network with Sixcess and Sixcess is sharing your music, he has a lot of following. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, if he goes, this is my song, and he got 100,000 people rocking with him, and 20,000 people rock out, man, you came up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, 20,000 people know me now.
The key to what you said is traveling and getting these slots. Yep. A lot of people are just staying in their same hometown, paying for the same slots every week. Yep. And are wondering why their fan base isn't increasing or why their streams aren't going up or why they're not reaching out, reaching more people. So I like how you said that because that's very important when specifying when to or when not to pay for a performance slot.
The Twin Cities here, we got 2 cities in St. Paul, Minneapolis, and we got a bunch of suburbs around it. So it's probably about 5 million people in this one area. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of big cities, whatever. But when you're trying to do hip hop here, it's a 80% white, 20% everybody else. So right now, unless you're that crossover artist, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to sell music to some people that are interested in something that's out there in other places. They don't really want to hear about this right here. They despise that. So not to cut Sixcess off, but when I hear a lot of artists go, I'm about to go to Atlanta and come up. No, you're not. You're not going to Atlanta and come up, bro. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm about to go to South Carolina and come up. No, you're not. I'm about to go to New York. Come up. Like, no, you're not, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that stuff is going to happen.
Not if you're going to do the same thing that you're doing at your hometown.
And they're doing exactly the same thing that they're doing in their hometown. They're not going out of town to do anything different. They're just going, oh, I'm about to go be on this strip club show. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only show you're gonna be on. You're just gonna be on that one show. You're not gonna hit no other. You're gonna go to Atlanta. You can go to Savannah. You go to Marietta. I'm assuming. I'm just saying. There's other cities around. You're not gonna do no other shows in that area. You can go to Alabama. You can go to Atlanta. You go to Tampa. You can go to Nashville. You can go to Memphis. Well, I don't know about going to Memphis, but you know what I'm saying. You can
like honestly,
but Nashville 4 hours from Atlanta.
Like for me, honestly, it's levels to it, right? I've done everything as far as what you would say an artist would do to try to make it, right? Like from paying for shows, paying for slots, paying for tours, blah, 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 paying for radio slots, paying for radio placements, paying for to be in magazines.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I said, the thing is, I realized two things. People that are catering to actual fans. Like if you put an event together and you say, look, I'm going to have 100 people from the city there. I need the best show. I want you there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, if you say to me, look, I need everybody that's on this show to help put up whatever, because we need flyers in the city. We need blah, blah, blah. Totally different, right? But if you tell me I got this showcase and it's going to be all these rappers trying to win a performance slot for this or trying to win a radio placement for this, I'm looking at that like, wait a minute. Well, I'm asking myself two questions. How can I gain fan base?
Yeah.
How can I gain good footage?
Yeah.
How can I gain good traction when I'm in a situation that's it's not just competitive situation that makes it crazy, but now we're in a money grab situation, right?
Okay.
Because I look at it like this: if I'm in radio, I look for hot music to play on the radio.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm a director in movies and I'm looking for music to be in my movies, I'm looking for what's hot to be in the scene.
Yeah.
Because I'm in the rooms with actual movie producers and executive producers now, right? And actual music supervisors now. Because I'm actually in the room with labels and actually in the room with like Live Nation executives, I look at things like, wait a minute, we've been doing it wrong the whole time. And they laugh at me like, yes, right?
He said yes.
It's like this. I tell every artist this: if you really want to be on stage and you got fans and you really trying to build a following, you can't be afraid in your own city to go out there and meet the club owners and push your brand. Mm-hmm. You can't be afraid to say, well, okay, I understand that that team got it on Saturdays. Can I get a Tuesday just to bring my following in here? Because at the end of the day, if it's 10 people show up, that's $100 or $1,000 that you'd have made, whatever that night. If freaking and next week, if they really love your show, next week they're gonna tell all their friends to come on with them, and it's gonna get bigger and bigger. But then none of these artists are taking this risk. You rather pay $50, $100 to perform in front of a bunch of rappers, and then you zoom around the room, and everyone's like this, waiting for next.
No, like, you ain't even had to do all that, dog.
No, honestly,
that's how the footage be looking. Though.
The thing is, I get super scared now. Whenever I look at promoters like me, my tour, right? I'm now understanding that I have a due justice, right? We understand that artists always want a stage to perform on.
Yeah.
But let's just ask ourselves, like, we all in a position where we become partners. And if an artist does not say, what do I need to do to make this event greater, then they just want to play a part. And if they just want to play a part, then they're not a partner. So that's when you start playing different levels of the game, because a lot of these artists just want a stage to perform on. So I ask a lot of people now is, what are you getting in return? Because if you're charging me $20 to get in and perform, then all right, I'll come up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what am I doing? I'm working on my craft. I'm hoping that the venue is registered, you know, and now I don't have to do anything but share my flyer. I don't have the stress of booking for it. I don't have the stress of setting security. I don't have the stress of finding the venue. I don't have the stress of doing anything but just getting up and bringing a good show and getting my footage and hoping that everything works out, right? Because as long as you register in your show after you do it, and as long as it's a registered venue, you're going to get paid, and that's really all. If you're in it for just to get paid, then you've done your job right there. But what I'm not going to do, knowing that that's the only thing that I have to do, I'll turn my 20 into 100 before I turn my 100 into 150. It's like I'm not going to do it, and because I understand that, I want all artists to understand that, right? Because at the end of the day, if $150, most of these clubs will probably charge you only $200, $300 to use the club. Especially the clubs y'all performing at.
You're 100% point on. Excuse me. This is what I think about with artists. Is like you still have to go out to them cities and go out there and get your download cards and get all your information out there in the streets and the malls and stuff like that where people hang. And the show is just kind of like an extra bonus just for you being in that town. It doesn't have to be specifically about who's in that show. I could care less about who's in that show. It's the fact that for my fan base, hey, I was in Atlanta. I went to the mall. I'm handing out stuff. They see me in the mall. I get footage. I'm live. I'm shopping at Lennox. I'm doing whatever. I bought some shoes at the Gucci store. I'm going back to the hotel. I'm going to so-and-so restaurant. Then I'm going to the club and I rock the club. Now I'm getting footage and I'm giving that stuff for my fans to rock. Oh, I'm headed from ATL. I'm going to Denver. Now I'll do the same thing. Now I might have did this and caught a few planes. I might have paid $150 round trip for each city. I'm probably hit 3 cities inside of a week's time for probably $600. I rocked 3 stages for $300, and I hit a bunch of spots, and I made my brand look that much better.
I'm gonna tell everybody one. I'm gonna tell everybody one better. I did my That's So Six. Well, I did my 6-speed tour, and right after COVID happened, I came down here and started touring heavy on 6-speed. Every venue that was open, any venue that could get open. I went up to Jersey. I went over to Memphis. I went to Mississippi. You know, I traveled, right? Yeah. So what ends up happening is this is thousands of dollars that you put up to make all this stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? But the reality of it is when you start receiving royalties and you start seeing kickbacks, you start dropping more albums, you start adding to your catalog, you start building up your credits, none of that matters. Like all of the
basically you're saying there's no point in getting out there and you could do everything once you reach a certain level, or are you saying
this is what I'm saying is this. If somebody would have told me this when I said, hey, I want to be a rapper, life would have been easier. I would have been on point, right? Then I would have shortened the 10 years to 5 years, because finding that sound, you always gonna have, right? Because at the end of the day, every rapper that starts rapping sounds like whoever their idol is, whoever they like.
That's factual right there.
You know, so it's like when you get into that realm and stuff, when you start and you get ready and you ready to be your own individual, and you know, I love this. This is what I want to do now. It's that phase that you have to go. If you never do a shitty show, you're not ready for it. If every show you ever did was lit, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you hit that big moment.
Yeah. With 10 people in a bad sound system.
Man, listen, because a lot of artists be like, I'm next up, I'm ready, because every rapper in the city is vibing with you because you've been there every week, and now they all jump in the middle because they know your song.
You know, that's something I hate next when this person go, we next. I'll be like, delete that. Because I don't think that might not be true. So we're not going to say we next. We coming. Listen, honestly, you know what I'm saying? We ain't next.
You got to put it in the atmosphere, though. You got to put it out there.
It's not manifestation when you say we next up and then you go home and play Call of Duty. I'm trying to tell you, listen. If I don't see you performing for at least 6 months straight, at least 4 days a week, don't tell me you next up. You don't have enough. And if you've been in your city all 6 months, you definitely don't have enough.
Ooh.
No one has brought you out. No, it's like the girls say when you on Instagram, no one flew you out.
No, it's flued you out, bro. Do it right.
If you ain't got flued out, then come on now. They're telling you that you a butterhead.
That's facts though.
So you gotta get your shit together. You gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta go back to the drawing board. And honestly, a lot of y'all artists are afraid to go into these showcases and say, "Yo, he's lit. I can do that."
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, you gotta find your sound some way, somehow.
Man, I appreciate you bringing me on, man. I just like kind of, I don't get to talk much about what I'm trying to do for people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't, it's like a lot of times it's like you try to say stuff and I have to defend what I'm doing all the time. I always have to defend what I'm doing, or have to defend the artist, or have to defend what their numbers are like. It's unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Everything that a person does is unbelievable. I'm like, yo, why is that unbelievable? My artist posts, yo, I got this Uzi Vert feature. Oh, that's unbelievable. I'm like, yo, there's no such thing as unbelievable. I'm like, yo, that's just me, because I'm gonna talk to whoever gonna talk to me. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna make a deal or an agreement with whoever I'm talking to, but I'm a conversate. And when a brother reached out to me, shout out to David Ransom, he reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? That's Top Yellow Management that's boosting them down there. The guy hit me and he was like, yo, I got some features. You want, blah, blah, so and so. I'm like, yeah. They like, huh? I'm not about to argue that. I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I got these radio plugs. Yeah,
was David Ransom that guy you sent me?
Yeah, and we both.
Nah. We're not talking about him.
Hold on. No. And the thing about it is, we both. No, listen, keep this out. This is funny because we both was like, nah, hell no. You know what I'm saying? For real though. But the man, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I really give people their flowers on the situation. Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something on my mama, man, and I don't put shit on my mama.
You gonna give me roses?
There's a lot of people after I linked with him, dog, that have reached out to me. That's why I made the decision to stop doing the distribution with the guys through Empire and all that, because man, they reached out to me and they gave me some gifts, bro. These people was really down south doing their thing. They gave me some information and I was like, wow. And it was like, a lot of times, a lot of people try to bait. No, we're not even going to do that. Me and you would talk about that. But a lot of people try to bait you into situations because they're trying to better their catalogs. Yeah. But these brothers here, man, they gave me some information and I was like, damn, this stuff is right there for me to benefit off of. It's crazy, especially with an upcoming label. You don't get too many other labels to give you no information, dog. They just want to try to just run it. You know what I'm saying? But these people, they came out and gave me the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm gonna plug you with this person. I'm gonna plug you with that person. We can do this. We can do that. I got some sync sync license for this movie. Send me a song for this movie. Send me a song for that movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm like, wait, what? Hold up. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing this. I'm like, yo, I'm on a conference call with Lil Webby and other people. I'm like, yo, man, hold on. Wait a minute.
Well, I mean, that's definitely how you get your foot in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know me, man. Like
I know. You my dog, so it don't matter.
I be trying now. Look at everything like, yo, like, wait a minute, right? Wait a minute. No, you did not just do that.
Yeah, they just did that.
I know for a fact that anybody and everybody that says anything negative about an artist's numbers, about an artist's opportunities, they don't have any, and they have alligator mouths. Listen, because honestly, listen, Jezabel, listen. Artists that do numbers do not sit back and, wow, you're doing numbers? Like, what?
You don't hate on it. Yeah, what? Yeah.
Wow, how? Artists that are working don't question the hows. They just like to see the work. Because I tell a lot of people, if you ain't never played sports, you really lost. Like, if you don't really like sports and things like that, you really don't understand what it's like to encourage and support and be a part of a team and win, right? And a lot of these people are me, mine kids. And it's like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to be top dog. But a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of things that go behind a dog being a top dog. Even really in real life, when you see the top dog, their owners usually feed them the best food, make sure that they got the best place to sleep,
Yeah.
all the works. So a lot of artists that's struggling, you can't keep on trying to compare yourselves to the artists that are not struggling, I guess. You got to put yourselves where they are. And
Before I go, I got a conference call to get to, but I got to say this to some people, man. First, I want to say thank you,
tell them where to
Jezabel. Thank
follow
you,
you and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You can follow me at Dub Digler on IG. Dub Digler, DUBDIGLER. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Willie Green, first and last name. And you can follow my music page. It's Real Deal ENT, and the page is popping right now. I think for the first time I did like an e-blast for 1 million people. So I know some people are like, who the hell is this emailing me? But you know what I'm saying? Sixcess, thank you, man. You taught me a lot of stuff here over the past, 6-7 months we've been friends, whatever. You taught me some stuff you think you don't, but I actually pay attention, and for all the artists out there, man, I know y'all want to make it, but let's like this. I'm just going to say this before I go. No more whack raps. No more fake plaques. Just that. Y'all got to cut that out, because that right there, that ain't what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But if you got some hot music, y'all can send it to dubdigler@gmail.com. I'm still looking for artists. I kind of filled the roster up, but we'll make something happen. And Sixcess, I see you tune. And Jezabel, the truth, hey, really glad to meet you.
Nice meeting you too. I hope everything goes well. Just come back and chat with us sometimes. We're always here each and every Monday.
We will.
Yeah, we're gonna get some of them. We're gonna get one of them artists on here, man.
And definitely
we're gonna do that.
I gotta make it out to Minnesota. So if I ever do, I might just hit you up and ask you.
Got you back.
Check out.
Got
y'all
you
got
back.
the Mall of America over there. Yep. So
yep.
I definitely gotta come over to the.
Oh no! If you come through, we my people got you. You ain't gonna have to worry about it. We gonna make sure that
I'm gonna keep your contact information.
Got you. Don't even worry about that. We got you for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be in the school soon because my sister, she was doing the Raising in the Sun here. They canceled it because of COVID, but she just won a big streaming award, big acting streaming award. So I need to come out and see her. So I'll see you soon. But definitely get with her and do an acting class, bro. Please do. I beg you to do that because it can go far, bro.
Yeah, I was in the acting class actually, and you know what he told me? I was actually being trained by Nick Cannon's dad in Drumline. That was the character he played. And you know what he said to me? He said, "You know what, Six? You're natural. Now we just got to get you ready for casting." And I said, "You know what? God is good, but I'm gonna focus on this touring and all that before I do all this acting stuff. I act enough here on Boss Biz Radio every Monday."
Well, you know what? I'm gonna throw you a play anyways, because I think they're looking for something. I'll holler at y'all. Thank you, man. Thank you again.
Y'all already know, man. That was my boy Willie Green. You can go ahead and hit the X out, Willie Green. You already know. Get to your conference call. That's my man Willie Green on Facebook. Y'all like I said, everybody know I always talk about the things we talk about on Facebook all the time. But of course,
at this time,
y'all already know.
Hey, y'all, stop what you're doing. Hit that like and subscribe button
that's
right now, y'all.
Right now.
If y'all like the content, if y'all like what we giving y'all, please let us know. Give me some feedback in the comments, you guys. We need more.
Yeah. Tell Jezabel that y'all love the background. And that's here to stay. Now, we got a lot of artists that has been hitting me up, asking me to come on this year from last year that were ready to drop some things, but I don't know. I'm cynical Sixcess this year, so we're gonna be a little bit more real about these interviews that we do. We got some real powerhouse interviews lined up for y'all. Y'all already know. If you ain't already following Real Deal, y'all go do that. If you ain't already following Boss Biz Radio on Instagram, you're tripping out. Y'all go ahead and do that right now.
Wait. Before we get out of here, let me just give you your. I don't have my round of applause, but I'm gonna clap for you. Cause I checked out your performance. I think you performed 2 different places, and I just want to give you a shout out because you've been working hard, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, I gotta give you your flowers while you here as well. And you put in that work for that too. You making me want to jump on this stage,
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I'm actually coming for the crown, right? I told a lot of people that they've been sleeping for a real long time, but now they all coming to wake. It's good. I'm just going to all the people's faces that make all these decisions and tell y'all who to like. I'm going right to their faces now.
You going right to their faces.
Yep. I hope to see y'all down here in February for the tour, right? Y'all already know. Anybody that can't make it, I will be in Greensboro on the 12th, and I will be in DC on the 19th.
You coming home?
I'm coming home for one night only. One night only.
You better.
Best believe that. So y'all already know that was me at Bonfire.
Ow! Sorry, Six. I just wanted to play it.
I ain't gonna lie. That's pretty lit.
Wait, I want them to see you dancing, though. Hey, you was giving them moves, Six. I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm so proud of you. Like, this shit makes me happy. Like,
yeah,
no
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Somebody made my day the other day. They called me yesterday and they was like, man, you don't know, a lot of people in the city talking about you and you're the GOAT, man. And I was like, man, thank you. And I really appreciate that. And actually, y'all look out because there may be a spread about me in one of the DC papers up there. You know, it's just, you know, time to really crunch up. I spent a lot of time telling y'all all this stuff was how it works. And now it is time to show y'all. And I got to the point now where, all right, we can't really, you know, waste any more time telling y'all.
I need you to do me one more favor. Can you shout out Tiff's brand, because you had her shirt on in one of your performances?
Yes.
And I couldn't remember the exact name, so I was like, I want to say something about it.
Yeah.
But yes,
y'all
definitely
need to go.
repping her hard, and I like that, and I appreciate. I love that about you too.
Yeah, I told her, I said, you know, it was actually a lot of people at both of those shows, but I knew it was gonna be a lot of people at that show on Saturday. Mm-hmm. It was V103. And I was like, I gotta wear it, you know. And like, you know, a lot of people ask me, where can I get it? I'm like, so that's perseveringdreams.com, right? The company is called Persevering Dreams, and actually it's named after my daughter, right? Which is lit. And it's actually my daughter's company. It's actually her brand. She's the LLC owner on that. And she's only 3.
Building generational wealth, are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So y'all go to the IG, everything melanin, period. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna see the 2 black kids, you know, and all that good stuff. Yeah, definitely check that out for sure.
Well,
y'all make sure y'all screen this part out. Y'all screen this part out and share it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If y'all don't know, check me out in the morning on iHeartRadio Hip Hop 95. I'm gonna be turning up. I'm going ham. Jezabel, what you got coming up this week?
Who the fuck asked you? So, y'all know I be getting on here sometimes and I be talking my little nonsense about what's going on, keeping y'all updated with the news. So, Fat Trail, he wants to reach out to Kim Kardashian, Donald Trump, and Meek Mills. He wants out, you guys. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. And also, I got another hot topic. Like, we didn't talk about this Drake and the hot sauce and the condom situation.
Drake is a genius and a pioneer.
Ladies, is it really worth it to steal a nigga's sperm? I don't know. But y'all tune in with me tomorrow at 8 p.m. for Who the Fuck Asked You.
I love that. And yes, Drake, if you are here for the first time, I am giving Drake a compliment, and Drake should get a Nobel Peace Prize, because not only did he just give us all a birth control that we've been desperately needing, but I tell you what, guys, make sure you bring your hot sauce with you wherever you go.
Don't be
Beyonce won't be the only one with hot sauce in her bag. Swag.
You funny shit.
What?
I feel like if he ain't doing you raw, then why you like? He don't want a baby with you. Like, why?
I'm
Anyway,
trying to tell you.
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
That was a harsh reality because you know that there's a woman right now that got $2 million from a doctor after having sex with him. He was 24 years old. She was 38. She didn't have sex with him. My bad. He had sex with another woman in a hotel room. She went into the room as the maid, found the condom, and injected herself. Got pregnant 3 years later. The doctor has to pay her $2 million. So this is a serious situation that we need Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West, and whoever does legal stuff to get on top of this. Jay-Z, this is where we really need you. We need to stop daggone suction cup babies.
That's not fair.
That should be a crime. It should be a crime.
It should be a crime.
It should be called kidnapping. It should be kidnapping, and kidnapping gets you life in prison. So it should be kidnapping because you theoretically took my child and you kept him without me knowing, and now anything and everything could be out here happening. And the worst part about doing that is that my child could just develop hostage disorder where he now grows a love for you and you kidnapped him and he doesn't even know it. And this is not right. So there should be a law and we should get all the lawmakers in that. And that is on tomorrow, y'all. Make sure y'all tune in because that is going to be one lit show.
Hey, Six. Thank you so much. You guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like I said, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe and be here. Be here tomorrow. Be here next week. And yeah, be here whenever you can. Turn on them notifications. That's how you know when we lit.
Yeah, and as y'all know at this time, you should be flicking off those ashes or throwing those ashes in the ashtray and getting ready to roll up another one. Because I'm out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.